All right, so you might be wondering why you can't see our faces for once. I know, I'm sure you're very upset, but we are back. We're doing a quick little short summer season, podcast only, if you couldn't tell. About 4 episodes, probably. We're going to try and aim for like longer time though, because there's so few and they're going to be released ideally bi-weekly. But we're going to be covering obviously current anime, upcoming summer anime, and a couple of Ghibli movies. Just a little excitement there with some special guests joining us.
It'll be very fun. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. But anyway, back to who we are. Again, I'm Quincy Lell.
I'm Audrey Williams.
So welcome back to Seasonal Spiels. Audrey, do you want to introduce what we're talking about today?
I'm excited for it. We're talking about the Crunchyroll Awards first and the results of them, which is interesting to say the least.
That's one word.
And then later going over spring anime just for a bit, but main focus is the Crunchyroll Awards because, oh my god.
It's a disaster. I hate them every year, but this year is the worst I've only started paying attention to them since 2022, so basically since college, really. So the past 3 years worth of them, including this year's. So not much going on. I don't like how they name it, first off. They name it the Crunchyroll Awards for 2025, but it's covering 2024 stuff. I don't like the naming. It confuses me. And I won't deny, they're all kind of annoying in their own way. But anyway, before I get into it real big, the main reason we're covering this instead of focusing on spring anime is A, there's not many to focus on that we won't be able to cover in like 20 minutes tops, if that. And B, we covered, our nominees for it at the end of the season finale of our second season. If you watched it, maybe, who knows? We covered a lot of those awards, so we just kind of want to follow up with that, especially since I do not like the fact that this was a solo leveling sweep.
Yeah, it really did not. Like, I didn't even watch that much of season 2. Or no, actually, the Crunchyroll Awards would have been covering season 1. So
just
that
season
matter.
1. It's just season 1. It's because people were watching season 2.
Yeah, because it was coming out around the same time. But even like season 1, I didn't watch. I don't think I watched any of it, barring the stuff that was in the movie. Yeah. And I'm like, it doesn't, like, even the stuff that was in the movie from season 1, I'm like, it does not deserve that.
No, I'll get into which ones I think it's okay to deserve and which ones I definitely think it never should have gotten even nominated at this point because of how many people voted for it. The point of these awards is never for like anything real because, right, it's Crunchyroll. It's not like Japan really cares. Like, sure, some of the people from the studio show up and get stuff, but this is a Western company butting in on Japan's economy. Like, they don't really care. I don't know. I really don't know how much they care about it, to be honest. Those who do show up and everything get nominated. Couldn't tell you. I am American, so no clue what's going on over there. But what I will say is the typical thing is I don't disagree. It is pretty typically a popularity contest. Like last year, JJK swept a lot of them, even though it was based on 5 episodes of a season. So I can't deny that. But I will say this: I think JJK actually got less nominations compared to Solo Leveling this year. I don't fact check me on that. That's just my memory. Very, very shaky memory there. JJK's better. It kind of deserves most of those nominations and probably a good chunk of those awards, in my opinion.
Yeah, there seems to be more compelling things happening in JJK than there is in Solo Leveling, at least to me.
Crazy how that works, but we'll definitely get into that. But we're going to go through all 24, something like that. I don't know. It's a lot of awards, except for like who won the voice acting for non-English and Japanese, because I didn't care. I was like, I couldn't vote for them anyway, so I don't even know who the nominations were. All I know is who won, so no point to go over it. I'm probably not even going to spend long on those 2 awards anyway, but we're going to go in order of what the results were announced in, not which ones we care to talk about. We're probably going to breeze through like the ones we care less about to talk about.
Yeah.
So to start off with that, the first one that was announced was the must protect at all costs character. Unsurprisingly, Anya won.
Yeah, which I'm not really mad about, to be honest.
I'm not mad about it. She swept it before. She's always getting this award. I mean, she's also, to be fair, she's also the literal kid in this.
Right, I was going to say, like, she definitely is like way younger than everybody else that was nominated for it.
You're telling me you don't want to protect the 1,000-year-old elf?
I think I might be telling you.
I think she's fine. Literally more powerful than most people alive, so I think she's fine. I'm surprised she was nominated, but whatever. I don't know. I don't think we talked about this one in our episode, but I know when we were going through everything, we did actually think Anya was going to win. I didn't vote for Anya just because I wanted to spice things up, see if I could make someone else win. Obviously, it did not happen. I voted for Okurun. He's also at least he's a kid, so it's whatever.
Yeah, true.
Not as young.
Did forget to like actually vote this time around, but
I didn't vote every day. I forgot some days. Like I had a reminder set and I just did not abide by it. But like for the most part, I think I voted for like at least 10 days of the 12. I think it was 12 days. Also, just for anyone who's curious, It was live streamed on the 25th. I watched it the following day. I don't really have much else to say for this award.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, like, I'm surprised Senshi got nominated, because that seems like a weird...
Well,
I guess,
I
like,
don't
out
know.
of everybody in that show, I would pick him to be
It was,
nominated for it,
I
but, like,
think
it
it
is
was
a
a
little strange.
lacking. No, for sure. I think for me, in my opinion, it was if Freeren's on the list, it's a pretty lacking year for protecting characters. Like, no, not many kids.
Yeah.
Like, if it was Miri on the list, there'd be some competition, but
True. Oh, I forgot about that show. I miss Buddy Daddy so much.
you haven't seen this either, but I love Kotaro Lives Alone on Netflix. Oh, when he was nominated alongside Boji and Anya, it was a fight. It was a bloodbath. Like, you gotta protect all
Yeah,
of them.
that seems like a lot.
That was 3 little kids, 1 deaf, 1 literally alone in an apartment with no parents, and also 1 who's just nationally acclaimed, I guess, in Spy Family. Pretty expected, pretty chill, whatever. It's a joke award anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know why this one was next, because it kind of set the tone of the entire award show. Best new series, Solo Leveling.
Yeah, that one's a little like Solo Leveling winning. It doesn't even have to be like everything on here. Like some of them, there are some of them that I'm like, that's kind of fair, I think, for it. But best new series, I'm like, in my heart, either Delicious in Dungeon or Apothecary Diaries should have won that one because they deserve it.
I think everything but Kaiju number 8 deserved it more.
Yeah,
you could argue against Kaiju number 8 for me, sure. I think they're kind of both popcorny shonen vibes. I will say I like the characters better in that show. It's not as hype as Solo Leveling. I get that, but you're telling me Solo Leveling that's all about aura farming with no depth whatsoever. One.
About hype moments and aura. That's
literally, that's it. That's literally all it's about. Like, you can't tell me there's any good character writing. As much as I love my goat Jin-Ho, he's only a goat in that show. Take him out of that show, he's like a throwaway character in anything else.
No, exactly. Like, there's not enough about any like character really to make you care, and I'm like, why?
Yeah,
like you're saying, it's just like it's about hype moments and aura, and like, oh my god, this guy's so strong. Like, after a certain point, it gets kind of old, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's less, I guess, innovative than a lot of the other ones on this list, I feel like.
Hands down. Granted, I don't think Delicious in Dungeon or Apothecary Diaries had as much hype, like had as much like mainstream appeal as say Frieren or Dandadan. However, you're telling me Solo Leveling was the thing you thought was best. It's just frustrating.
I know. Like, I figured that Delicious in Dungeon and Apothecary Diaries weren't gonna like have enough to put them in the standing for the winner, but like Dandadan not winning is very strange. I'm like,
Frieren not winning is strange. It was if you paid any lick of attention to anime last year that wasn't just aura farming people in shonen shows, it was Frieren. It was Frieren hands down. Everyone also, like, I've seen on, like, I know we're kind of slow to like talk about this because it's a week after the awards, but like, yeah, but like I've seen all around, everyone was like, what about the Justice for Frieren? Because it's a fabulous story in 28 episodes that has not ended, but like of that first season of 28 episodes, it was amazing. But either way, moving on, because we can come back to this. Because again, Best New Series has the exact same nominees as Anime of the Year.
Right.
Wonder who won that. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Background art. At least people had sense in this one. Frieren did win, which I was happy and pleased for because I expected it to win. I did vote for Apothecary Diaries for this, but I also thought it was between that or Frieren for background art. To be fair, though, Solo Leveling wasn't nominated, so maybe that was why.
Thank God, because it's not like the art in that show is bad or anything, but it wouldn't deserve this if it were nominated.
I mean, frankly, to me, though, like, even just comparing it to, like, Dunmeshi, Don, Apothecary Diaries, and Frieren, I think all those 4 shows have better styles of animation.
Than
Solo Leveling, because Solo Leveling is like, I don't mean this in a mean way, but you know how Mappa's style is very obvious? It looks like a kind of a watered down Mappa style to me.
Yeah, no, right? I know what you mean.
Just a little, just because of the sharp. You know how Mappa looks very sharp yet like high frame rate. That's kind of what Solo Leveling feels like to me occasionally. Yeah, just like not as good.
Titan. Oh, I guess Attack on Titan is Mappa, but like I kind of associate it with like that.
I associate Attack on Titan more with Wit, though, because Wit was the first one, and Mappa picked it up after.
Yeah.
But either way. But yeah, so best background out, I'm not upset, obviously, and
yeah.
Anything that could have won except for Demon Slayer, I think deserved it. I didn't see Pluto, but I know people liked it from what I heard. That's about it. So, okay. Best character design. I'm not upset with who won. I assumed it
Mhm.
was going to be Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah, me too. Well, I don't know. I kind of
Again,
wanted it to be, but I don't
yeah.
know. Don has like a lot more hype around it to the
Yeah,
point
so
where I'm like,
Dandadan did
yeah.
win. Yeah, which isn't
Which I'm not.
bad.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say like I'm not mad about it. I think Delicious in Dungeon.
yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm not really mad that it. If there was an award for like best story concept or some shit, I would
Best
be like,
Fantasy would
no.
have been great this year if we actually had an
Yeah.
award, but I bet
Hmm.
Demon Slayer still would have won anyway. Who would have guessed? But anyway, no,
Right.
I think the only reason Dandadan won over it, popularity.
Yeah.
That's about
Exactly.
it. That's about it. Again, it's not like it's undeserved. I do think Dandadan. I think the only thing I wouldn't have liked winning would be Kaiju number 8, or actually even Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's design pop off, but like we're used to it by now. Don't keep winning just for the same
Yeah.
characters over and over. I say
Hmm.
that, but I got complaints later for Demon Slayer, even though it didn't sweep for once. I got complaints.
Thank God.
Um,
But also,
but yeah, at least Dandadan like has good original designs for like the aliens, especially the transformations of the spirits and ghosts and everything. That's always fun to see.
mhm.
But yeah.
Those are always like, yeah, they're super like, I don't know. They're innovative with it. They're very cool. Even like the designs for but like the human characters in
Yeah.
that show are very like unique, I feel.
They very much represent their personalities very well.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Hands down. Yeah, so again, not many complaints there.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll ramp up, because the next one is best action.
Hmm.
Now, I will preface this. Solo Leveling deserved to be nominated. I'm not upset necessarily that it won,
Mm.
except for the fact that this was only season 1. Did I just like season 2? Yes. That's my own personal gripes. If you watch that episode, that's just me expecting more better writing and everything and better pacing from the adaptation. Again, not that I know the source material, but the pacing was weird for me at times. However, I will preface season 2 had phenomenal fights when you actually, except for the last one. This finale to the
Mm.
season had the freaking worst fight of the season. What's up with that? But anyway, season 1
I was gonna
fights.
say I didn't see it, so I don't. But I believe you
Yeah.
that it was weird.
I say it's bad because if you watch like the fight in episode 8, it's night and day between that and like episode, I say 8, like 8 of season 2, and then like episode what, 12 of season 2. It's night and
Mhm.
day which one has better animation, which is really weird.
Oh yeah,
Because
you would think it would
arguably
ramp
12 is
up.
supposed to be more hype and more aura farming, but whatever, who cares?
Right.
I don't. I only finished Solo Leveling season 2 just to figure out what people were saying about the fight.
Mm.
Point is, I'm not upset it got nominated for its action in season 1. Do I think it deserved to win? Hell no.
Yeah, no, I think like I haven't even seen that much of Windbreaker really, but I feel like that is a good contender for it. Or like
It,
anything else kind
yeah.
of deserves it. I mean, like
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I will say
Demon
one
Slayer,
thing.
but I'm not. This
No,
arc
Demon Slayer
is the
would never
bad
have
one.
deserved it. It had
Yeah.
no good action whatsoever this season. This is why a lot of my complaints are going to come in.
Mm.
I'm usually a supporter of Demon Slayer because I understand it's definitely not like that good as other shonen. I can understand why people are upset about how popular it is.
Hmm.
However, I agree with everyone. This was not a season it should have won anything.
Yeah.
It really wasn't because it was just a really long prelude to the movies that are going to be coming out later this year for the
Oh,
finale,
that's right.
for the
Hmm.
final arc. There was nothing. There was one episode that was good. Every other episode, every other of the 8 sucked. Like it wasn't bad. It just took wait. Like I think the manga chapters, like they elongated it. Like I think if you just took the chapters and adapted them, it would have been like 4 episodes. I don't know
Oh.
why.
Yeah, that seems a little.
They spent way too long on the arc. And the arc itself is not good. Like, I understand why it's there. It's because it's supposed to buffer the last arc and the finale arc, but I still don't care either way. It's a terrible arc. It's not good.
Hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like Toei pacing, but almost worse, I feel like.
I mean, like, I haven't read the chapters in a while, but I remember them being very quick and very like, oh, you go to this Hashira and like train a little with them, and then the next one, you're not
It's like
there for
a.
long. But
Yeah.
they gave it more depth, and I'm like, why are we watching this making paper airplanes scene? This didn't happen in the manga. Why are we taking 10 minutes to make paper airplanes? What does this have to do with training to battle demons? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's a little out of context. I mean, in context, that's probably crazy too. Yeah, why elongate it? I guess to get more episodes of it out is the answer to that. It seems
No,
very
it
stupid.
shouldn't have happened. Anyway, going back to the award, I voted for Windbreaker because I felt like if Action deserved it for the choreography, if nothing else. And I also haven't
Hmm.
seen Bleach, so I don't know what it would have brought to the table. However,
Yeah.
based on what I've heard about Bleach's action, as well as having watched Dandadan and Kaiju, I think all 3 of those should have been the contenders, not Solo Leveling.
Yeah. Solo Leveling's action, at least what I've seen of it, is fine, but I think there are other, like, even, I don't even, like, Don deserves it, I think, way more. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, I haven't seen a ton of the action, so I couldn't tell you, but I think, like, the hype around it alone would
The fact
have,
that people
like,
praise
propelled it
it for
higher.
being so good alone leads
Yeah,
me to believe it has to have good action.
right.
Kaiju, I don't think deserved a win, so I'm fine with it not, but I think it deserved it more than Soul Leveling, if
Mhm.
only because it actually lended more to plot relevance. I know it's weird to say to like literally the fact that the fights in Soul Leveling only happened to help level him up, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm thinking of season one, right? Season one, while I felt there was better character writing and progression, it wasn't like the fights were as good as season two. And so I do think it's just season two, again, lending it to Solo Leveling taking the win.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is unfortunate.
A familiar pattern, I'm sure, for most of these awards. Again, it's not like I don't think it's bad it won. I just was very surprised that it wasn't Bleach.
Yeah, honestly, like, Solo Leveling has enough hype around it, as we'll see, or as we've been seeing and as we'll still see, but, like, I thought Bleach had enough hype also to maybe beat it.
Yeah, what
Or
I'm
even
suspecting
Dandadan,
that
too.
yeah, but you forget Donanon plot wise, very niche audience. You have to attract like
True.
it's very much like people who are into anime, not people who are like only fans of AOT, for instance, right? So
Yeah.
I think what happened is Soul Leveling brought in new fans for Crunchyroll, and they only watched Soul Leveling, and then they got the email to vote, and if they did vote, that's all they voted for.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're like, oh, thing I know of. Just
Yeah, I don't like it, but I can believe that that's I shouldn't say I can believe that's my copium right now is that that's why that
no,
happened
fair.
and that no actual paneling like I really hope it was just like people voting and no paneling of judges voting for Soul Leveling because if so why did they vote for it? So
Yeah, that's the thing that's weird. It's like, why would you? I haven't seen like a lot of the previous Crunchy Awards, but I'm assuming that like the paneling has done things like this before, where they've been kind of weird about like what wins and what doesn't.
it's always weird about what wins and what doesn't, and I don't know the behind the scenes mechanics. I just assume there's not just all votes, there's also paneling, because else are you making it semi-fair?
Hmm.
The reason this year stands out for the Soul Leveling sweep is because A, there's so many better nominations, usually like three or four in the same category than Soul Leveling.
Hmm.
Again, Best Action, one of the few that I'm okay with it winning, all things considered.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, take a good example, I think it was 2022, I'm not sure, but Cyberpunk, you know when Cyberpunk Edge Runners dropped? It won Anime
Hmm.
of the Year. It didn't win any other awards, but it won that one. So it kind of showed like, hey, against all these other shonen shows, at least it still got the recognition it deserved compared to the other Anime of the Year nominees. So it's stuff like that where it's like it's not always the most popular. It's just in the past few years, this is the most egregious in my opinion.
Yeah, a little bit.
Best supporting character was Fern from Frieren. I was surprised it wasn't Himmel, but I'm also not surprised it was someone from Frieren who won.
Yeah, it makes a lot of
Very,
sense because like the Dandadan nominees are kind of weird. Like I didn't
yeah,
think they would win at all because they're not like I mean they're
relevant.
fine characters, but I think compared to Freerun, I don't think the audience for Dandadan is big enough. And also like Seiko and Turbo Granny, I guess Turbo Granny arguably plays more of a role in the story than Seiko does, but
As a
not to the
supporting the
point
whole
where I would
time.
be like, oh my god, she's the best supporting character in
Well, it's
this.
also weird because she's an antagonist for half the season.
Right.
That's not a supporting
Yeah.
character. Yeah, I guess for me, it's those nominations were weird. I wasn't expecting Jinchi to win from Apothecary Diaries, nor was
Hmm.
I voted for Senshi. I wanted him to
Yeah.
win. I didn't expect it. I was fine with Fern winning.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I figured Senshi wouldn't because everything else was a bit more popular than Delicious in Dungeon. I was just like, no, Senshi,
Yeah.
my goat. I want him to win. He deserves it.
He literally fed everyone on the team. How can you stay alive without the man? But
He's
yeah,
the literal like game support character. Like,
literally. But I will argue in defense of Fern. She also is the only one keeping Frieren on schedule because again, Frieren likes to laze about. Fern is
real.
human. She don't got
Hmm.
time. So
This is Burns
I
on a
will.
mission. I
Fern,
respect that.
she is because every time Frierin's like, "Oh, I'll stay here another 6 months," she's like, "No, you're staying 1 week and we're leaving."
I haven't seen the show, but Fern sounds good.
She's like this she's a teenager, so that's also
Yeah.
what part of the frustration on her end, but also she's kind of like the straight-laced pouty character. Like it's not bad, it's very much like she's dealing with a very stubborn elf that doesn't understand the longevity she has compared to human lifespan,
Mm,
which is kind of the point of the show. If you
yeah.
really want to find out, go watch it. I recommend. Best drama, Frieren one, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. I did vote
Yeah,
for
me
Apothecary
neither.
Diaries, but I think Frieren's also a pretty good drama.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot Apothecary Diaries was nominated for this one. Yeah, I would have liked to see it win. I would have
I
liked
would
to see it win anything, low key, but
it wins one award, but it doesn't technically. You'll see
mm,
what I mean. And
okay.
I do wish it actually won something. If anything, I think it had the best chance with best drama because Frieren's a drama too, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also like it is more popular, but to me, a better representation of drama is Apothecary Diaries, like with the literal
Yeah,
political drama going on.
right. I, I guess at this point I'm just like I'm glad. I mean, Solo Leveling couldn't have been nominated for this, but
Basically,
like,
if it wasn't nominated, it didn't win, and if it was, it most likely won.
yeah, which
That's where we're at.
is. Mhm.
And it was nominated for a lot, well, as we'll see continuing. Best main character. Let me preface this. I wish I could cuss on this channel because this really upset me. This upset me to death because the winner was Sung Jin Woo from Soul Leveling. Man is a husk.
Yeah,
Man has no soul. Man is a
he has no
self-insert character. He
personality.
has no personality. Man's personality is, oh, I gotta get strong. Let me aura farm. Like, what
Right.
else is there to this character? Nothing. Literally, it's literally meant to be just be like escapism in like I guess the best way because it is a power fantasy. And you're telling me somehow that's better than Frieren? I don't like Frieren as much, but she's definitely better written. Momo or Okarun from Danadon, who are absolutely better written.
Mhm.
Mao Mao, who deserved a win.
Right. Memo, I knew she wasn't going to, but like she deserved it. I
She
figured that
deserved it.
like out of everybody, Momo and Okarun from Dandadan had the best chance
But
against
they were probably
Solo
split
Leveling.
votes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even still, I was like, please let them win over one of them win over Sung Jin Woo, and it didn't happen. I'm
Literally.
like,
I know.
okay.
I think the only nominee I would have been I'm fine with like not winning is besides Sung Jin Woo, who didn't deserve to be nominated, frankly, was
Right.
Kafka. Because Kafka's a good protagonist, but he's not as good as the other four.
Mhm.
It's just so upsetting that I don't think Fieren's that great of a character, but that's because I'm not watching the show for her, to be honest. But she
Mm.
does her job as the main character very well, don't get me wrong. But Malma's just leagues above everyone else, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially Sung Jin-woo, who's nothing but a soulless husk of a character.
Right. I was gonna say Memo has a personality
Malma
and
has a
is fun to
personality.
watch.
She actually matters to people.
Right. Insane concept for a main character, I know. It's out
Yeah.
there. But
Insane that a woman could be well written and more amazing than this or farming man. Crazy.
mhm. Right. This is it's
Yeah.
just so like she did I mean he did not deserve it at all. Like
Yeah. Like, I don't
uh,
like this is why I'm coping with the fact that surely this is just a lot of 12-year-olds voting for whatever reason they wanted to.
yeah, I'm like maybe it was. I'll never know, but I'm hoping that that's the case because it's
If
kind of
if
insane.
yeah, if judges actually voted for him, I'm like, who's the judge? Who?
Like,
Fire?
what show
Fire?
were you watching that's
Yeah.
different from the one
What
that
were
I'm
you
watching?
watching? Because surely it wasn't nominees.
Right.
Which Sung Jin Woo were you watching? A real life one?
Exactly.
Had to be a
I'm like,
documentary, right?
mm-hmm.
It's just this like I had little faith up until now after hearing the best new anime award. But
Mm-hmm.
when this one got it, when I was watching the recording and saw the announcement of this award, I was like, oh, it's over. It is
It's
over.
just, yeah,
I
cut the
had no hope
cameras.
after that. Moving on. I'm not going to spend too long on these because these are the voice artist performances. So for the best voice artist for Japanese, the voice of Mao Mao won. So technically, Apothecary Diaries won something. This is what I said about them
Mm-hmm.
technically not
Yeah.
winning though, because it's the voice actress for her
Mm-hmm.
part in that in as Mao Mao. But that's not really an Apothecary Diaries win, in my opinion,
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it
because you could,
technically isn't, but
yeah,
she's still like it's
it
technically
counts.
not like an Apothecary Diaries win, but it also is. So I'm
Yeah,
taking it because I
no,
feel
for
like she
sure.
deserves it.
Yeah, Ao Yuki is a fantastic voice artist. I think you could have put any of her roles up here and she would have deserved it for the
Hmm.
most part. So obviously that's great. I didn't vote for her, but like she's a great voice actress, so it's whatever.
Hmm.
English, Alex Lee for Sung Jin Woo from Soul Leveling One. I don't know any of the dubs, so I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving
I was
on.
gonna say like I actually do know some of the like about the dubs because I've been watching like dubs over subs more recently just because
Yeah,
I don't even know why. I'm just like, hey.
that's fair.
But the thing with this one is weird because like I like Alex Lee in other things. As Sung Jin Woo, he kind of sounds the same. he's got that like monotone voice that he has in Japanese still. Although he's like doing his best, I think, with what he's been given to work with, it's like not. It's a good voice artist performance, but the material is so weird that it doesn't make up for it.
Yeah, I think again it's just the fact that it's Sung Jin Woo.
I mean, that's
That's
literally
why.
what it is. I think,
Yeah.
like, honestly, AJ Beckles or Sung Won Cho should have won. Because
Should have.
Sungwon
That's the
Cho's been
thing.
like him as
Yeah.
Senshi, he does a really good job. He's also been in other things that I know about. AJ Beckles, I don't think I've heard him in anything else. I'm sure he's voiced other things. I just only know him as Okarun. He does a good job as Okarun too, and I'm like, he deserved that. Literally anybody else deserved that more than
Literally.
again, Alex Lee is good too, but this role is not his like my favorite thing. So
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't want to keep harping on it, so best romance. I'm a little surprised Blue Box won. I didn't think it had that
yeah.
hype, but it was the biggest title last year.
Mhm.
So I'm not that upset. Did I prefer Too Many Losing Herons? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was gonna say I'm surprised Rama One Half didn't win because I thought that, but that audience I think is a little bit more niche
It's definitely more niche because
comparatively.
it's a revival anime or a reboot,
Yeah,
remake, whatever you want to call it.
and
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim Takes Off being nominated at all is really interesting.
I mean, it makes sense. It was by Science Saru and technically is an anime, but like it is
Right.
kind of funny. I'm glad
Hmm.
it didn't win, although it would have been funny if it did.
Yeah, I
But yeah.
wouldn't. It wouldn't deserve it if it won. I don't think, but it would have been funny enough for me to not be mad at it.
Yeah,
To be
exactly.
honest.
100%. But yeah.
Hmm.
Similarly, unsurprisingly, best comedy was Mashal. I'm not upset by
Yeah.
that. I would have preferred probably something I cared more about, like Konosuba or My Dear Friend Nokotan, which I did watch and find hilarious for its slapstick. But I'm not upset
Hmm.
Mashal won. It was definitely more comedic than the other three nominees of Dunmeshi, Spy Family, and well, I didn't see Rama, but
Yeah. I
yeah.
was gonna say like Dunmeshi is funny, but I wouldn't consider it a comedy really. I think
It's
it's
got a
more.
comedic aspect, so I understand why it
Yeah.
falls in the genre, but it's not a good comedy compared to those other three, right?
Especially Mashal, which I
Yeah.
haven't watched, but like I know that it's. I get the
Yeah.
context of it that I know is or not even context, but like what I've seen of it is out of context clips of like weird things happening in that
Yeah.
show.
It is
So I'm
very
like,
comedic,
yeah, it's definitely deserving of winning and
for
being
sure.
nominated at all.
I'm actually surprised how little Mashal got recognition wise, but that's gonna come up later.
Mm.
Um, Speaking of coming up later, best ending sequence. Request from Soul Leveling one. I don't remember the ending,
I
but
don't think
also
I watched it. Yeah.
I don't really care about this award as much because there was no standout ending that I had watched that I thought was gonna get the award. Did I
Mm.
want nobody to win over it? Yeah. It didn't hurt that it was by One Republic, so of course I was gonna listen to the ending.
Oh, yeah, true.
So that's about it. I remember the Dandadan Tai Dada ending from Dandadan, but I also don't think
Mm.
it was gonna win. But
Yeah.
yeah, again, I just think it's so leveling fame getting to people voting.
Mm. I don't even, yeah, I'm not really that mad about it winning this one because like Taidada I like, but it's not the
Mhm,
openings for Dandadan are way better to me.
for
And
sure.
like Kaiju, it would have been cool to see that one win over it. I
It wasn't
wouldn't.
that great either.
Yeah.
Like it was fun for a One Republic song, but they've done better songs.
Hmm.
Yeah, hands down. But here's what I was talking about. Best opening sequence. It was definitely Creepy Nuts versus Creepy Nuts.
Yeah.
Otonoke from Dandadan won. Not surprising. I am a
Hmm.
little upset though because okay, I think as an opening sequence, Otonoke is better than Bling Bong Bong Born for sure. I
Yeah,
just really
same.
wanted us from One Piece to win because it was fantastic and phenomenal. And I'm still a little upset about it. But if it was
Hmm.
going to lose into anything, it deserved to lose only to Otonoke. So I'm glad that's what it lost to. If it was anything else, I'd
Yeah.
be really upset. But I'm okay with this.
Yeah, if it lost to level, I would have lost my mind.
If it lost the level, don't even get me started. This is the one with few so leveling did not win. Thank God, level.
Hmm.
Okay, apparently Hiroyuki, I think that's how you say his name, Sawano. Sawano,
Hmm.
that's his name. Sawano, composed it level, and I'm like,
Mm.
oh, the only reason I know his name is because he's a really good composer, which we'll see later. And normally I don't mind what he composes, but I did not like level, and I also did not think Soul Leveling's music at all in any way, shape, or form stood out. But again, I'm not
Hmm.
like. I'm just fine it didn't. I'm happy it didn't win. I'm happy Creepy Nuts actually got the accolade it deserved in some way, shape, or
Yeah.
form with this
Hmm.
award. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Plus, again, Science Sorrow did cook on the animation. I'm not complaining about that. I just also loved the work Toei actually did for us.
Yeah, I think like honestly as a sequence, I don't know, it's really hard. But I feel like as a sequence, the Us opening is a lot
To
more
me,
creative.
the Us was more creative, and it also paid a lot more accolades, which also doesn't
Yeah.
hurt, to One
Mm-hmm.
Piece arcs with the change with Luffy's outfit changing.
Yeah.
That was just and the different characters being like replaced as they like slowly punch. It's just it was really well
Yeah.
done. Megami Ishitani popped off with that opening.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one who directed it. Best animation. I'm surprised and frustrated that Demon Slayer won this. I agree. UFO Table
Yeah.
does pop off with their animation for Demon Slayer. It's usually the cream of the crop. Did this season deserve it? No, it did not.
Yeah. For any other
One good episode.
season, I would
Any
be
other...
like, okay, but
yeah.
for the season that like everybody agrees for the most part is like kind of the worst one. I'm like, why did this win best? Like, why did Dandadan or Freerun not win this?
I'm happy Soul Leveling didn't win. I'm also fine that I'm happy Kaiju didn't win because it shouldn't either. More so than more so even than Soul Leveling, I will admit, because I like Kaiju at number 8, but its animation wasn't like as focused in some scenes as like Soul Leveling with the like the last fight with the, I forget the name, but the Red Knight in the finale of season 1. Yeah, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. That anyone
that
listening, who cares? Yeah, that one. But Delicious and Dungeon, Dandadan, Frieren, all deserved it more. Yeah. I'm so upset Demon Slayer got this accolade when it should not. It's the one season it shouldn't have. It's also going to have the movie this year, so it's going to be nominated again and definitely win for sure at that time, because I'm sure the movie's going to be like even better. But it had one good episode. It had like one good fight.
It did not, yeah. I think even like you're saying like the movie next year will be nominated. I'm like, that'll probably deserve it more than this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The movie coming out in September this year is definitely gonna have to be nominated next year because it's UFO Table and Demon Slayer. Mm-hmm. But the one time I don't think it had the best animation, it won.
Yeah.
So.
Which is like, who is making this decision? I mean, I guess
I don't know. People who have blinds on, I guess.
Right.
They can't see. They just put on sunglasses and fell asleep, I suppose. But anyway, best isekai. I'm not upset. I'm actually pleased ReZero won this because it was the only one last year that I heard was the best. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I love Konosuba. I don't think season 3 was its best season, even though I love it. If anything, its comedy would have deserved it more so than the season itself. So I'm perfectly fine with ReZero won. It's also one of the more acclaimed isekai that I know of. Because ironically, it's one of the few that I have not watched. Sorry, you degenerates. I have not watched it.
I was gonna say, like, this is a similar one to the comedy where, like, Suicide Squad Isekai being nominated is, like, really funny. Ridiculous. And I don't think it would have won anyway, but it's one of the ones... It's the same thing as, like, the Scott Pilgrim one where I'm like, honestly, if it won, I would just be kind of... Like, I don't even know if I would really be mad. I think it would just be too funny.
I actually watched it. I was surprised it even got nominations. It wasn't that good. It was very much like just turn your brain off and watch some Suicide Squad DC characters kill people.
Oh yeah, like I've heard that it's not that great of an anime, but
it's not that good.
It would be funny.
It would be funny. If anything else would have won, it probably would have been. It was a very weak year for isekai, surprisingly for once. But I definitely feel like if anything else was gonna win, it should have been Konosuba of the list. I haven't watched Mushoku Tensei, but like, I still think Konosuba's satire lends it a better hand. Because it's satire this past season. I forget it because I haven't rewatched it, unlike the first 2 seasons, which have been out longer. But it still was good. Do I think it was weaker than season 2? Yes, but I think it stands up to season 1 pretty well. So I don't think it was that bad. But anyway, moving on. Let's get more frustrated with best continuing series. Demon Slayer. Why?
Yeah, again, like it's the worst arc. Why is it? It should not be best continuing series. Why is it winning against
One Piece? Excuse me?
Yeah,
this was the year Egghead was introduced. Excuse me?
Right. Even, like, honestly, okay, I haven't seen the Hashira training arc, so this might be out of pocket, but honestly, like, and it would not deserve it if it happened, but honestly, like, I think MHA Season 7 would deserve it over that. And I wouldn't be happy... Right. And, like, I wouldn't be happy if MHA won over that either, but it would deserve it more. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yes. I would say of the nominations, Spy Family's dead last. I haven't seen Oshinoko, but I've heard at least it's good, so I would put it above that only because the reason again, people love it to death apparently. It's only so low because I haven't seen it, but I've heard enough to know it's better than Spy Family Season 2. MHA would still be above Demon Slayer in my opinion, even though I haven't seen it, because Demon Slayer's season was just that bad. So I would then say Demon Slayer probably for me, like I'm gonna remove Oshinoko because I haven't seen it. So of the 5, Spy Family, because it's been too long for me since I've seen it, and I forgot it was even part of this year's nominations, to be honest. Then Demon Slayer, then MHA, Bleach, One Piece. I am biased towards One Piece. But I think Bleach, yeah, literally. But I think Bleach could have equally deserved it. But still, the fact that Demon Slayer, of all things, got it, why? Is it because you could reverse Muzan walking into Michael Jackson moonwalking?
Wait, oh yeah, I guess
you can actually do that. Like, that's such a big gif on the internet. It's insane.
One Piece doesn't even like get the chance to win a lot, so I feel like it definitely deserves, especially with Egghead, it deserves this.
Well, this was the One Piece award. This was the only one it ever got, like, every year was best continuing. Is like One Piece was the winner for a while, and it deserved it too, because why not? So I'm really upset that I don't mind it getting dethroned by Demon Slayer if it was a good season.
Right, if it was like any other season.
If it was any other season. Maybe not the Sword. Well, actually, no. Swordsmith Village came out at the right time because we were still in Wano, and that was a slug at times. But my frustration too with it not winning is, we had Egghead, which was a phenomenal entrance, and the hiatus started at the end of the year. But excuse me, we also had Gear 5th.
Oh right.
What happened to that? What happened to that, people? What happened? I
forgot that was like in the timeline for like what it would be nominated for. Yeah, that's crazy. Like that on its own, I'm like, why would that not win against? But whatever.
Yep,
even whatever. like I was saying, like even if MHA won over, or I wouldn't be happy if it won over Demon Slayer, but it's still like, I honestly thought it had more of a chance of the end. Not even like the season on its own is kind of whatever to me, but like the ending fights, I thought had enough hype to like maybe.
Yeah, I've heard the hype about those for sure. Agreed. And Bleach is, again, I don't know that much because I'm not in the loop, but again, people praise it, so I can only assume it's got to be decent. But anyway, best original anime, I'm gonna blitz by because I hadn't seen any of them. Ninja Kamui won. Good for it. Moving on.
Yeah, either good for you or sorry that happened. I don't really know.
Care. Best anime song. Otonoke by Creepy Nuts. Again, Creepy Nuts versus Creepy Nuts. Donadon pulled it off, I guess. I do think, personally, that might have been recency bias.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Bang Bang Born to win over it, because I like both songs, but I don't know.
Like,
I think
if you read the lyrics, Bling Bang Bang Born makes more sense to me.
I think, like, as the songs against each other, I think Bling Bang Bang Born I like more, and then as an opening sequence, I like Otonoke more.
100% agree.
But it's fine.
Hey, Solo Leveling didn't win. That's all that matters.
True.
At this point. But I will say, if you do watch the recording, Creepy Nuts performs Bling Bong Bong Born, so that's at least is a nice little better.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't Otonoke, but they performed before the award announcements, so maybe that, I don't know if that's why, but best slice of life. Too many losing heroines won. I'm not complaining. I'm eating. They won something. I love that show, guys. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. It's a good romance slice of life. Somehow slice of life. I guess it is. It's more romance than that to me, but it's still good.
I was gonna say, like, this category I haven't seen. And I've
seen 2 of these, and one shouldn't have been nominated. My Dear Friend Nokotan, it is not slice of life. It's just pure crazy acid trip comedy. Don't put it in slice of life, man. It's not there.
Yeah. Little that I do know about that show, I'm like, I don't know if I would call it slice of life, but all right.
No. Yeah, agreed.
That's a choice, I guess.
Okay. Again, I'm blitzing by because I know I'm going to rant for some of these. Like this next one.
Yeah.
Best score. You're telling me Solo Leveling is better than Look Back, than Frieren, than Dandadan score?
Is crazy.
I haven't heard Bleaches. I don't care about Demon Slayers, so I'm fine with that. I haven't seen Look Back, but I know it's a great, phenomenal movie, so I can only assume the score fits it too. Frieren and Dandadan scores are eons above Solo Leveling. I don't care if you love Hiroyuki Sawano's music. I couldn't tell you a single track from Solo Leveling that I could recognize from sound alone, unlike Frieren and Dandadan.
Solo Leveling, there's like one song that I like. I think it's like the one song that plays like in the show that has words to it.
There's multiple,
and that's it.
Like,
that's the only one I know.
But I don't call it. But like but that's like so weak. They don't make me feel anything. They're just like.
It's like hype moments and aura.
Yeah.
But as a soundtrack, and I'm like, that's
for
fine.
real. Don is so innovative and quirky. Frieren is just Frieren sounds like pure fantasy. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Yeah, like I think the only other score I would have heard is Don. Like you're saying, like that one is so innovative. They do like I don't know how to describe it, but they make the sound almost supernatural alongside the show, if that makes any sense. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like I don't know how they do that.
Yeah,
but
I have
that
to
deserves it way more.
Yeah, Kensuke Ushio is the one who made the Don score phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I did vote for that one, but I think looking back, it was recency bias because I've recently listened to Frieren's. I've listened to both recently just because I wanted to have a fresher input. I should have voted for Frieren's score because Evan Call's work, it sounds very like fantasy-esque, but it sounds new. You know how fantasy always kind of sounds like, I don't want to say Celtic. I don't know, like a little bit. Like a little bit, right? But it's still different and new, and there's so many good tracks that just scream pure like fantasy. It's just really good. I don't know how to describe it. Just try and give it a listen. I highly recommend it. Either way, I think both of those two scores were better than Samano's work on Solo Leveling. He's done work for AOT and stuff, so I know he's good at what he does, but I could care less about Solo Leveling. It did not deserve it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Best director. Okay, I gotta say this name right. It's Keiichiro Saito from Frieren. I'm fine with this. Every director who was nominated deserves. Did I love Megumi Ishitani? Yes. Yeah. But she's gonna get her due. I can understand why she didn't win because every other person who was nominated aside from her did a full season of directing, not a short film and openings and like occasional episodes. Like even if you combine all that, it's still probably less work than the others directors. So I'm fine with this. However, before I let you talk, Audrey, I just have to say, you have to like watch a clip from the recording because it was so wholesome because you can actually hear everyone clapping as the nominees continue to be said and as the clips play. It's really wholesome because you just hear all these people clapping for all these directors. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize they actually clapped while this was playing. It was really wholesome just to hear how the claps kept going on as the nominees were listed.
Mm-hmm. This one, the same thing, like, I haven't seen Frieren, and Megumi Ishitani definitely deserves it for One Piece fan letter alone because like I have seen that and like it's so good. She deserves
her own company at this point.
I'm not mad, like you're saying, like I'm not mad that Keiichiro Saito won instead because it's like they've done a whole season, or are they the director for the whole show? I'm assuming.
I'm not sure. I know they did at least half of it, so at least 14 episodes.
Yeah, but like still more
28.
than.
I would presume all 28 because it's more. One Piece is weird, but most shows with seasons, you have the director for the season, typically.
That makes sense. I'm not mad that they won over Megumi Ishitani, but she deserves it.
She deserves some. I'm just happy she's nominated. I hope she gets up there for like Witch Watch next year because Witch Watch is coming out now. I don't know how much direction she's done on it, but I know she did the opening for it. So I want her to be recognized for something.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. It's okay. I'm not upset about who won. As long as it's not Solo Leveling, it's kind of happy at this point.
True.
And the final one before Anime of the Year, gonna blitz by it real quick because I haven't seen it, and this was a shoo-in in my opinion. Film of the Year, Look Back. I don't know what else would have won that deserved it. So
yeah, out of all of these, the only one that I watched was the My Hero movie.
I watched Code White. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, wait.
We saw it together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the unless there was another movie that came out that I didn't know about. I was like, isn't that the one that we saw? MHA wouldn't have deserved it if it won. Like I watched that movie and it was fine. I wouldn't give that Film of the Year.
IQ was good adapting the arc. It wasn't that great of a movie though, right? Like I love IQ, but it's not like as good as Look Back. I haven't seen it, and I know Look Back is phenomenal. So
yeah, same. Like Look Back as a movie, I think it deserves it
for sure. It's also a concentrated story, not part of a larger story either, like those other ones. So well, My Hero's non-canon, but whatever. You get my
but still, it's like non-canon, but also I know what you mean. It has the characters, so I guess on to the biggest one and the last one. So you know how Best New Series has the exact same nominees? Unsurprisingly, and I will say at this point, I'm happy it's the same one because if not, I would have been even more confused. Solo Leveling is Anime of the Year. The only one not to deserve it. The only one not to. Okay, I don't think Kaiju number 8 deserved it, but it would have deserved it more than Solo Leveling. Right.
This is insane.
It's really. I don't even know if I can say that, like, Delicious in Dungeon deserved it, even though I would have been really ecstatic if it did win that.
Yeah, I think it was down between
Apothecary Diaries or Don should have gotten it instead. Or Freerun, actually,
yeah. Those three are the ones in my brain. I do think Apothecary Diaries and Don are more niche compared to Freerun. Yeah. But so I also know Freerun was a lot bigger, so like online presence in the community. So I'm surprised Obviously, I'm surprised Solo Leveling swept, if only because I was actually hoping into believing in people's brains working for once on the good writing character development. But whatever. But like overall, I'm at least if you're gonna give Solo Leveling Best New Series, at least give it Anime of the Year. It's the exact same nominations. If it didn't get it, it'd be more confusing, I think. Granted, I voted for different series, but I just wanted to vote for different series for those, just for the sake of it. So I'm frustrated because I think Freer deserved it. A lot of people say Freer deserved it, or Apothecary Diaries. I'm right there with them. But either way, yeah, again, not that this show means anything outside of just Western appeal, I suppose. Though it does happen in Japan and they do hand out awards. I'm pretty certain it has nothing to do with the studios making the shows. They just show up and get an award from a Western company. However, it's still frustrating to see that this is what the Western audiences vote for, because it's such a popularity contest, and in the worst way possible this year. Like, Demon Slayer in the past has won stuff, so has JJK, but they've been better arcs or just better stories.
I feel like I haven't seen anything that deserves it less, or deserves, like, this many accolades less than Solo Leveling does.
I'm not upset it got nominated, because it was a big show last year, and still is, obviously, in this year with his second season, but it does not deserve to win any of these, except for, like, maybe 2.
The overall sweep is frustrating because it's like, why it doesn't, there's so many better things out there. Like,
for sure.
But it's fine. It's
fine.
But it's whatever.
Okay. Just end on a positive note. The award show was like fine to watch. So I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. Obviously, I recommend the wholesomeness of it in that one scene, if nothing else, one moment, whatever you want to call it. But if nothing else, at least the best of of what aired last year was at least nominated for the most part. Like, I am happy that Dawn, Freer, and Delicious Dungeon and Apothecary Diaries got so many nominations and recognition in general to be there. So that's at least something. At least they didn't just not nominate it for how good it was. So I'm hoping, at least with this year, even though Solo Leveling did have a second season this year, so will Dawn. So I'm hoping that might fight against that. And again, Demon Slayer's movie is supposed to come out, and while I would be upset, again, it's supposed to be better than this past season, which was just flat out terrible. Should not have won anything. I'm surprised it was nominated for stuff, but it was UFO Table in the name. The IP carried it.
Overall, very well, not all disappointing awards, but like a lot of it is. For the most part. Yeah.
I don't know. You want to talk about just a little bit about spring anime? We got a little bit of time, I think. So the only 4 that I'm currently watching, and I will preface, I'm not caught up on Apothecary Diaries. I very much like binge like every few episodes. I think the last one I watched was episode 40 or something. I know there's more than that right now out, but either way, it's still the GOAT. Not really much to add since our last episode on it, so I don't want to get into spoilers either for you.
Yeah, because I need to catch up on it.
Yes. But I do want to plug the other 3 that either were the one that was continuing, which is Windbreaker, love it. And I also want to plug 2 new ones, MHA Vigilantes, which is surprisingly kind of fun. And To Be Hero X, which is just my hit, like the gem of the season for me.
Yeah, that one, like, I'm also not fully caught up on it right now, but the episodes that I have seen, I'm like, it gives me, this is like small shout out to Link Click right now, but it's the reason that I'm saying that it like gives me a similar vibe, at least in terms of how it's like, I guess, I don't know if you can call them really twists, but like how the plot itself continuously shocks me with where it's going. It gives me that, like, Link Click had the same vibe, and I'm comparing the two because I believe they have the same director. It's like,
I think so.
I think it's the same director.
I think there's someone who's worked on Link Click who's working on To Be Hero X.
They're both good shows, but To Be Hero X is so good.
Yeah, actually, so what was the last, do you remember what the last episode you watched, like, so we know spoiler wise what we can go into for it?
Oh, what have I last seen? I believe it was the episode or that mini arc. No, you know what? It's the one where what's the guy's name? The main guy. I don't know why I don't remember it. But where where he transitions from being like just like a clone of Nice into his own hero.
Okay.
That's like the last thing I remember happening.
Okay, so it's basically spoilers through episode 4.
Yeah.
So it's basically just the Nice arc. I again don't remember his name, but he's become Commoner at the end of the episode. He's the new hero, the Commoner, still number 10. However, what's really fun, just a slight spoiler, we keep going into different heroes, which is great. The following is a 3-episode arc about you get into Isol, and then the next one that just started with episode 8 is Lucky Cian. I don't think it's gotten worse, but I do think it peaked with a Commoner for me. Like that whole Nice to Commoner transition.
Yeah.
That like it was also the introduction of the world, so I think it worked better. Not to say Isol's arc was bad. It's left a bad taste in my mouth because it does this typical like trying to be as unspoiler as possible for you. It does this typical like hidden villain was corrupting the hero all along kind of vibe, and I just don't like that because it's so obvious to me as a viewer, and I just don't like when the protagonist is so dumb they can't notice they're being corrupted.
Yeah. But
I understand why. It wasn't executed poorly. I don't like that trope, so that's a me thing. And Lucky Cyan has literally just started her arc. I've been told it's supposed to be 2 episodes. I've heard it's supposed to conclude with episode 9, so we might get so many more heroes than expected covered in this first season because the season's supposed to continue through summer for a full 24 episodes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that'll be cool. For sure.
Yeah, I'm really hyped. I just want to see Hero X. I need to see his episode like so soon.
Yeah, because he gets teased in the opening and ending like all the time. I'm like, man, I want to know more about this guy.
He's the number 1 hero. I want to know. I'm so curious.
Arguably, it's really funny also. He's the main guy well, it makes sense, but it's also really funny when you start the show out with not him. So it's like, who is this man?
Literally, you start with Nice.
Focusing on him right
now.
Yeah,
spoilers for episode 1, but you start with Nice committing suicide.
Right. That's
what a great entrance.
That's a crazy episode.
It really is.
What a way to start the series, for sure.
For sure. What a way to impact the series than a hero killing himself because he doesn't want to be alive anymore, apparently. Great.
Yeah, killing himself, like literally smiling at the main guy before he jumps off a building, and then
the finger guns.
Right, and then his previous agent being like, you guys look similar. You're nice now. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, put some paint on your hair.
It's fine.
I'll kidnap you. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will say it's just. I mean, I know people don't like the CG, but it's really well done. Don't get turned off from it. It's worth it. And lately it's been using a lot more 2D typical anime style in its animations. So that's also really good still.
I was gonna say like the CG. I don't even think I had an issue with it all. Or I don't even know if I like recognize when it is all the 3D CG. I guess it would be.
Yeah, I assume it's CG. I don't know. I call it 3D and 2D in my head, but I know people use the term CG, I guess. I don't know why. To me it's like it's a less polished Arcane kind of style because Arcane is definitely more fluid and I think more aesthetic with its like animation in the 3D than to be Heroics, but it's also in the same vein of like stylistically. If that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying.
But yeah. I definitely recommend it. It's like even though I personally am tired of like hero concepts, this is very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like that you're getting to see different heroes' origins as well.
Yeah, that's true. And it also like I feel like even I don't know if this is true for like the later heroes, but I feel like not to say that it's not like they're just similar. I was gonna say like it does more than My Hero does, where like they're not the same show at all, but they just both have heroes in them. But like this one goes more into like the actual issues with the system that's been set up, and it does it like right out the gate. So I think
I just love the fact that like public perception is how you gain power because that's just the truth of the world, unfortunately. Like that's just kind of how our world operates too. So it's just cool to see that play out as a power system. And I also will say, yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say, or as like a what's the word for it? As like a what word am I thinking of? Wait, what?
I don't know.
How it like works against the heroes too, I guess. Where like
kind of like
that obstacle. Popularity, like, or not even that popularity, but like what their fans perceive them to be affects how they are able to operate. Like you see it most with it was the previous number 10. I don't remember his name, but
I think it was Mr. Stand or whatever. He could not bend like, down.
Yeah.
Which was very comedic at times, but also kind of depressing. Like imagine just standing for life.
Yeah, that would be
because people want you to keep standing. You cannot lay down or sit.
Mhm. Right. It's terrible.
Yeah, as I say, seated on the couch.
I mean, I low-key, I get the feeling me when I'm at work for 8 hours in a row standing on my feet. I'm like,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is kind of
it's
rough
terrible.
for sure. Don't like customer service jobs, but it's okay. You get the pay.
Mhm.
But anywho, one more plug for To Be Hero X before we move on, because I know we're getting pretty long in our episode. But I will say it's nice to see the hero's origins because it's not in the
Mm.
same time. Commoner actually happens after Esol. So it's cool to see different points of
Oh.
time since the
Mhm.
like hero system has been established.
That is cool. Yeah, I didn't know that because I hadn't gotten past Commoner, so I didn't know.
It's
That's
not that big a
interesting.
spoiler because it's literally like the
Yeah.
beginning of the following episode. It tells you what time you're in, so
No,
it's before the
yeah.
whole nice stuff happens. So
Mhm.
which is cool. But moving on, because again, time. I just want to plug a quick thing for Windbreaker because I know you're not watching it, but anyone who
Mhm.
hasn't, do watch it. At first, it was just fights and cool choreography and animation for the first season, and it was that for like the first few episodes of this season as well. But it's gotten so much better in its character writing that I genuinely need people like to check it out. It's gotten
Mhm.
really better in its writing, and I can't wait for more and for the season to conclude and like it's just gotten ever since like episode 15, it's just gotten better and better for me. So
Oh, yeah. The
highly
one thing I
recommend.
know about the new season is that like, ooh, I don't remember their name. The oh, hmm,
Is it
Windbreaker.
Tsubaki?
Yes, it's Tsubaki.
Yes, I love Tsubaki.
The goat of that show. Even though I don't even like, I haven't watched it. I've just like
Yeah.
exclusively seen clips. But
Okay. I will say just a slight spoiler for Tsubaki alone. Try and check it out. It's such a good, especially in a shonen show. By the way, a shonen action
yeah,
show. The episode that introduces Tsubaki so good at writing how he just wants to wear girly clothes. I say girly in like the typical like he perceives it as just it's meant for girls. Why should I like them? But the writing and
hmm
exploration of like him discovering that and discovering his identity in the world despite preconceptions of gender notions,
hmm
very well done.
yeah. That's like I think the one thing that I know about the new season is like about Tsubaki, and I'm like, yeah, I
Sakura
need to
gets
catch
good
up to
development
that.
too, and he needs it, so that's also helpful. But yeah,
hmm
every so far it's just gotten it's to me it's definitely it's less fighting, but it's a lot better writing than
hmm
season one. So I'm fine with the trade off because the fights that are happening are still really well done and animated well. Yeah.
hmm
But finally, have you been watching or checking out the Vigilantes at all?
I
As a
haven't.
My
The
Hero,
only
as someone who definitely likes My Hero more than me.
I know, like, I did read some of the manga in, like, I think in high school, and I remember, the one thing that I remember about Vigilantes is that I liked the concept a bit more than the, like, base series. Or not even the concept, I guess, but, like, the main
Well,
character, I think I liked
yeah,
more.
because he's
Um,
not Deku.
yeah, very true. I mean, like, I've grown to like Deku, but I think the Vigilante's main guy is better than him, I think, at least like from what I remember. And also like
Yeah.
I think the other thing that I've seen of Vigilantes is like the opening because I believe that got like the sequence for it, or maybe like part of the sequence, I don't know if it was the whole thing, got dropped like before the actual show did.
Hmm.
And that was cool.
Oh, I did not know
Um
that. Cool.
or maybe I don't know if it was before the show. I might be lying about that, but
It's whatever. Yeah.
um but yeah, I know that I don't know, I low key I forgot that it was happening. Like I know that the anime got announced and then I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's cool." Then I kind of was like, "All right."
No, that's fine. I am caught up, but only because I wanted something to turn on that I didn't need to focus on or think about.
Mhm.
It's very much kind of like my isekai placeholder show of the season because I have no isekai to watch. That's
Real.
that I want to anyway because the season is just not it. Literally,
Mhm.
I'm watching four things, and even then, I'm technically watching 2.5 to be honest, because I don't really
Yeah.
watch Vigilantes that much. I like let it pile up, and then I binge
Mhm.
loosely. I'm on my phone when I watch it, so I'm not paying attention that hard. But it's just it's fun. It's definitely like I just like the exploration of the world, and I like Knuckle Duster a lot. He's just a better exploration of a mentor to me than All Might
Mm. Fair.
in the scenario that he's in, and it helps that he's quirkless and he's just funny.
Yeah.
Just goes around beating people up.
That
Yeah,
does sound
sure,
very
why not?
fun.
Yeah, it's just kind of a vibe. It's not that deep. I enjoy it more than My Hero, but to be fair, I also enjoyed the first couple seasons of My Hero, so it could do the similar thing where it's like, oh, it's fun to watch, and then it falls off for all I know. I know it's already gotten more adapted than what I read in the manga, because the last thing I read that I remember reading in the manga was about, like, the detective's sister gets involved to try and find the vigilantes, and that's already happened, so...
Oh.
Yeah. Forgot how early... I guess it was early on. I mean, obviously, there's more chapters than episodes, right? So... But because I think that was anyway.
Yeah, like it explores, I guess, a different part of the world, but yeah.
Well, it's also funny because it has the whole Stain teaser, which is cool.
Oh, really?
To set up his character, yeah, like his origins, which is nice. He's not in it very long though, which is a little depressing. I'm like, come on, at least let him be a vigilante for a while. Come on.
Yeah, bring him back.
Bring him back. He's like the only like, honestly, those were the best. Those that I can't talk apparently. Those were the highlight episodes of the season.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes me not want to continue.
He also, like, barring the murdering people, he low-key had a point. Like, bring him back.
Well, the cool thing is that, if you don't mind spoilers.
I don't.
Okay. So I think it's like, I don't know, I've watched 8 episodes because that's all, I think all that's out. So spoilers for whichever one's Stain is in, and I guess technically spoilers if you didn't know Stain was going to be in it. But he does end up, you know how he in My Hero he's introduced as the hero killer? He's actually someone who kills villains, no matter how small their crime.
Interesting.
So even if they don't do that much damage and are stopped by, say, other vigilantes or heroes, if he hears about them, he's still going to go and try and kill them.
Huh.
So but at least that's something, right? He at least tried to kill the evil people first before going after corrupt heroes, which I guess you could argue are doing bad as well. And again, murder is never the option, but at least he did it in a technically more justifiable way, maybe?
Yeah.
Not really,
I don't know.
Not really.
He just kind of went from being, like, Light from Death Note to, I guess, to himself in the base series.
Yeah. I don't, he's not even, that's actually a pretty good way to put it. But yeah.
I'm just killing every single villain on Earth. I mean, I guess, like, yeah, I don't know. You're right. I guess he did technically go the more, like, I don't want to say normal route, but... His development as character is he's on the moral high ground in his mind, because even though death is bad, obviously more like ethically, in his brain it's more fitting as enacting justice, right?
In such a corrupt world. So at least that I can get behind that. That's why he's more compelling, and it's also probably why MHA got bad for me after the second season, is because after that it just went back to black and white. Oh, power up. Anyway. That's about it. Wow. Talked about a lot. Talked for a while. Hope you like us spieling. Yeah, not much else to say, I think, for spring anime without getting into big spoilers for either of us or for y'all listening. So definitely check out To Be Hero X and Windbreaker. Highly recommend. If you're not already watching Apothecary Diaries, watch it.
Yeah.
Where have you been living?
It's so good.
Yeah. And then if you want, and if you like My Hero, sure, check out Vigilantes. But if not, I don't think I'd recommend it, but it's whatever. If that's it. So next episode. So I hope you liked it. Maybe keep listening next time. But next episode, we're going to cover a couple Ghibli films, maybe also our top Ghibli films that we've seen, like our favorites or what we recommend. Maybe also cover like what the Ghibli Fest is for this year. Also, tune in because we have a special guest joining us for that episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know it's a little different format, but we appreciate y'all listening. So again, for Seasonal Spiels and for SGTV, I'm Quincy Lell.
And I'm Audrey Williams.
Thanks.